And we're back. All right, back with another one. So today we're going to be talking about 457Bs. Now here's the thing. I know that despite the high value and the extreme importance of the information that we're going to be going over today, I know that despite all that, cops really have a hard time sitting through training and presentations, especially if I'm just sitting here spitting out numbers and facts at you, right? So, in exchange for a quick smash of that like button and a quick little click of that subscribe button, I have, before the video even starts, a quick 15-second synopsis of all the high points that you need to know for 457Bs so that you can just go on about your day. Alright? So, first things first, hit the like button and subscribe, please. It helps out the channel tremendously. So, quick 15-second rundown, 457Bs. Guess what? They're important. Second thing, it's not quick money. Alright? It's slow. And that's okay. It's not like winning the lottery. Alright? It takes discipline, but guess what? With discipline and time, you can take advantage of compound interest and be the third thing. It's going to make you a multimillionaire. That is without question. 457Bs are like the government's version of a 401k. Alright? You want to do it. It's going to help your retirement. As of 2020, the max that you can contribute to a 457B account is $19,500. And lastly, if you're not contributing, and if you are contributing, but you're not maxing out, you need to do it immediately. Those are the bullet points. So that was the quick Cliff Note version. For everyone else, let's tech shop and let's break down these 457Bs. Go ahead and play that little intro thing. 457Bs are a salty cop's biggest regret. And I can easily recall numerous conversations that I've had with senior officers, sergeants, lieutenants, and their biggest regret always is that they did not contribute more to their 457B early in their career. Because as they got later into the career, they finally realized the importance of it and just how much money they left on the table. Don't let it be you. Even before the current defund the police climate and agenda that's going around, I've always had a complete and utter lack of trust and faith in people, organizations, or governing bodies, city, state, county, whoever, to take the time and effort to ensure that I had a comfortable retirement. So because of that, I started on a journey, a self-exploration, if you will, to ensure and pad my retirement and my future against stupidity, short-sightedness, and hate. Almost like a lot of things that we're experiencing in our profession today. But I was doing this years ago. And for that to happen, I had to realize that the perceived safety, like the notion in our profession that a pension and other financial opportunities like the drop were most likely going to be pipe dreams for me by the time I reached retirement age. And so what I did was I found this little investment vehicle and I learned about it. And it was the 457B, also known as Deferred Comp. And I'm using this, and hopefully you will too, as an insurance for my retirement. So that despite whatever happens with pensions and drop and whatever else down the line, I know that I have this little nest egg set aside completely separate from the politics to ensure that I have a 7-8 figure retirement. So what is a 457B deferred compensation account? Simply, 457Bs are an IRS recognized retirement account that allow employees of government organizations to defer taxes on their retirement savings and on their retirement earnings until a later date. To keep it even more simple, Basically, all a 457B is the government version of the private sector 401k, just without the matching contribution aspect that's commonly found in 401ks out in the private sector. Like a 401k, 457Bs work off the premise of long-term, so a lot of time, and compound interest. That being the case, many account holders of 457Bs see the most growth in their accounts in the final 10 years of their holdings. 457Bs are so powerful because they allow you to make tax-deferred contributions to your retirement while still building tax-free with compound interest. The thing is though, since most government agencies, and in this specific instance, right, we're talking about police departments, since most police departments have dedicated pensions, the government entities seldom, if ever have a matching option. So that means that 100% of the money that you put into it is going to come out of your own pocket. Now, for that reason, common practice and common belief, especially in our profession, is to not really pay that much attention to it. And I think that is a complete injustice to the power that a 457B can provide in just completely changing how you thought your retirement could actually end up. So what are some advantages or some benefits of a 457B account? Let me sell it to you. So first things first, the biggest benefit, and I've already said it, but the biggest benefit of a 457B account is that you can make tax deferred contributions and your money can grow in that account over the 25, 30, 35 years of your career without being taxed. That is a huge benefit and allows you to see massive growth in that account. The second benefit is that as an officer, you're able to contribute as much of your salary as you want, as long as it doesn't exceed the IRS set contribution limit for the year, which again, right now is $19,500 a year. Another huge benefit of a 457B is that none of your earnings, none of that compound interest is taxed while it's still in the account. Additionally, something that separates 457Bs from traditional 401ks and 403Bs is that there's no penalty if you retire early. There's no 10% fee that comes out of your lump just because you retire early. And that's because 457Bs are typically tied to government accounts, right? Especially in the practice of like policing, right, or fire. Oftentimes we retire a lot earlier than our private sector or even our non-sworn counterparts. And so to combat the issue that would arise if you retired at, let's say, 48, right? 457Bs are structured in such a way that you're actually not penalized for retiring at an early age than 59 and a half. That is a huge benefit. Now, don't get this confused. Just because you can retire early without penalty doesn't mean that you can withdraw money at any time from a 457B. It doesn't work like that. And in fact, it's actually harder to withdraw money from a 457B account than it is from a traditional 401k account. Oftentimes with 457Bs, you can only draw money from the account under penalty, of course, but you can only withdraw money from the account early before you retire if it's an emergency situation, and there's the stipulation that the emergency situation has to have been unforeseen. So that means that you can't withdraw money for things like getting a new house, right, sending your kid to college, things that are allowed in some form with a traditional 401k. All right, so now let's talk about 457B contributions. And all a contribution is basically the limit that you are allowed to put into the account each year. So as of 2020, the IRS has decided that the maximum contribution that you as an officer could put into your 457B account is $19,500 a year. That is a little bit up from last year, 2019, where it saw the maximum contribution of $19,000 a year. And typically, Every year the IRS is going to raise these limits by a little bit to keep up with inflation. There also are some instances where, depending on your situation, which is going to be heavily determined by your age and how close you are to retirement already, you can contribute even more than that $19,500 a year. For example, if your department or your municipality or your county or your state or whatever government entity you have your 457B account through, if they allow you to do the catch-up option, right, that means you fall within this age range of 50 plus, then you can actually contribute an extra $6,500 a year to your 457B account, increasing your total from $19,500 to $26,000 a year. So a really interesting and truly powerful aspect of 457Bs are their ability to allow you to stack retirement vehicles. So what does that mean? So some traditional retirement vehicles aside from 457Bs are 401ks, right? Those are largely private sector. And then another retirement vehicle called a 403B. These are typically found in education institutions. And if you're not familiar with either of those two, don't worry, we're going to be doing videos in depth on those too. But here's the thing. A 457B is considered a separate retirement vehicle from a 401k or 403B. What does that mean? So 401ks and 403Bs in the eyes of the IRS are considered to be essentially the same. Meaning, if you have a 401k account and you have a 403B account, both of which have a maximum contribution similar to 457Bs, which is $19,500. But if you have both of these accounts, you can't max them both out separately. Whatever you put in one takes away from the maximum contribution of the other. But with a 457B, it's considered separate. Meaning you could have a 457B over here and a 401k or 403B over here and max each one to $19,500 respectively. Now this is powerful, because for the truly dedicated and the truly committed to their financial freedom, you can use this setup to see yourself with an 8-figure lump sum when it's time for you to retire. And just for you guys out there, 8 figures is $10 million plus, because you're able to maximize these two retirement vehicles to their fullest contribution limits. And why would you want to do this? Why would you want to put away almost $40,000 a year into these two separate retirement vehicles? Well, that's because they're coming for your pension. Look, so that's it. All right, we can get way more in depth into 457Bs, but this is the main nugget information and important things that you need to know about this investment vehicle. And I highly suggest, look, I'm not a financial guru, okay? I'm not some certified financial analyst or financial advisor, but this is what I'm doing actively for myself. These are the things that I'm taking advantage of. And I highly suggest that if you're not investing in your 457B deferred comp account, that you start. And if you are, you need to start making plans. You need to start looking ahead to see where in your department's MOU can you begin to work toward maxing out your contribution as early as possible. As early as possible. The earlier you do it, the more you can take advantage of that tax-free compound interest and really set yourself up to be a multi-millionaire. I'm not talking about 1 point something million. I'm talking about if you do it right and you max it out. Of course, it's dependent on the stock market and all that. But if you do it right, if you max it out early, you're looking at 3, 4, 5, in some instances $6 million that will be available to you in your 457B as a lump sum. That's all I got for today. All right, that's 457Bs in a nutshell. Again, I highly suggest that you act on the information. If you don't act on the information, I'm just talking to a camera. I'm just talking to a camera, and these are just words. All right? We're in really trying times right now. And if you think that you can just sit it out until it's time for you to retire, you're going to get your pension and just sail off into the sunset, you are wrong. I hope you liked today's video. As always, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell, share this with a friend, share this with your peers, share this with your department, share this with your son or daughter, cousin, niece, nephew, whoever you know that is currently working in law enforcement during these trying times. We need to change the way that we start thinking about money and start thinking about our retirement. As always, it's Xavier Wells, CRC. Stay blessed, and I'll see you guys on the next one.